Salam salam, kemay bekum. It's me again, the German girl with dreadlocks who speaks about Eritrean topics. In this video, I don't want to talk about culture, I don't want to talk about religion, I don't want to talk about relationship with Eritrean guys, but I want to talk about a topic which is way more important. This video is especially for all the people who have absolutely no idea about Eritrea and for people who have no idea about Adgis and donkeys in Africa. In Germany, there are more than 18,000 Eritrean people who left their country and now live in Germany. Every German citizen knows that we have a lot of refugees in our country. However, I think the majority of people, they don't know why those people are here and they don't know where they actually come from. And that's something I want to change. People who know me, they know that I have a lot of friends from Eritrea. I'm close to Eritrean people and my aim is to build a bridge between Eritrean and German people. For that, I think it's important to make people understand where those people actually come from. So today I want to give a little insight about where Eritrean people actually come from. I want to show you their roots and lifestyle. I want to show you how they have grown up. And by doing this, I also want to focus on the Adgi problems. So in this video, I want to show you that Eritrea is not just a YouTube Asmara. I want to show you the lifestyle of Eritreans in rural areas. I want to talk about Adgi Organisations and the importance of Adgis. I want to look at how Eritreans treat Adgis. I want to answer the question if Eritreans like help from other people. I want to give you an update about current Adgi projects, and I want to focus on global Adgi problems, which are mainly triggered by China but are affecting whole Africa. And at the end of the video, I want to share my personal connection to this whole topic. If you want to understand Eritrea, you first need to understand that Eritrea is not just Asmara. Asmara is the capital city of Eritrea. However, Eritrea itself is way more than just Asmara. Why do I mention this? I mention this because there are a lot of videos out there on YouTube showing people who travel to Eritrea. And because of those videos, I think a lot of people think that what they see in Asmara is the lifestyle, how the Eritrean refugees have grown up. So I want to make clear that most people who live here are not the ones who have grown up in Asmara eating ice cream all day. Those people who record those YouTube videos, you have to be aware that they always record in Asmara, the capital of Eritrea, okay? And you see internet cafes, you see pizza, you see ice cream, good infrastructure, good streets. However, this is not whole Eritrea, okay? I mean, there are people and they hype Eritrea completely up, okay? They say, for example, Eritrea is the cleanest country, not only in Africa, but in the whole world, okay? And I'm sure this person has not traveled the whole world. And yeah, I mean, the streets, when you look at them in Asmara, they are clean, they are proper, people are well dressed. However, this is just Asmara, okay? You can't judge from the capital to whole Eritrea. It's like, I always love when people tell me about Germany and then you ask, okay, where have you been? Yeah, I have been in Berlin. So what? Berlin is totally different than the city where I live, okay? In Berlin you don't see horses or that much nature, stuff like this. Berlin is a big city, okay? It's totally different than other regions of Germany. So let's be honest, you can't judge from Asmara to whole Eritrea. Eritrea totally looks different when you go some kilometers in a region where you actually can't go that easy because you need permission to go there. You know, if you want to leave Asmara and go to other regions, you need special permit. And there are also checkpoints and stuff like this where they control if you can go there, stuff like this. So it's not that easy. However, I just want to say, please don't judge based on Asmara what you see on whole Eritrea, okay? Eritrea is not that big, but it's various, okay? The streets are not everywhere. So you need to understand, when you travel to Eritrea, you only see a small part of Eritrea. 18% of the Eritrean people live in places where you can't actually go as a regular tourist.
Asmara, the capital and largest city of Eritrea, has a population of approximately 1.15 million people in 25. This population is within the urban agglomeration, which includes the city and its surrounding suburban areas. In comparison, the entire population of Eritrea is estimated to be around 6.2 million. This means that roughly 18.6% of Eritrea's population resides in Asmara.
If you don't trust me, try it, okay? So if you plan to go to Eritrea, have a look at other regions than Asmara and Massawa, or just try to go to other places, and I'm telling you, it will be very difficult and you will not be able to go there. You only have a chance if you are in special organizations, stuff like this, okay? So regular tourists, usually they only go to Asmara or Massawa. They don't see the other stuff of Eritrea. And I know people from Asmara who have grown up in the city, but I also know a lot of people who have grown up in other regions outside of the city. And today I want to show you the lifestyle in the rural areas. I want to show you the lifestyle from Eritrean people who lived outside the city. And I want to show you the real and traditional Eritrea. You have to know, a lot of Eritrean people, they live in and with nature. And I think that is really amazing. All the people who know me, they know that I have a lot of respect for those people who live in nature. I like the Rastafarian culture, which is totally based on nature. I like natural food. I like being in nature with my animals. I think it's good to raise kids without internet, all that stuff, okay? So my list is very long. I think being in nature has a lot of advantages, so I really like that lifestyle. However, everyone can imagine that this natural lifestyle is not as easy and chilled as it sometimes looks. So in fact, it's really hard and it's not for the weak ones. So now let's have a look at the rural areas. Let's have a look at the lifestyle of some Eritrean women. So what you see here are two Eritrean women who live in the highlands of Eritrea. And you see them walk and walk, and they walk every day kind of the same way. They are on the way to get some water. And you have to know that the water access in Eritrea is different than we are used to. So they search for a place, or they go to a place where they know that there is water left over from the rain. And there they collect it and they put it in kind of little small tanks or in barrels, whatever. So they put it in those tanks, and after that they put it on their shoulders, and then they go back home. And at home they use that water for themselves, or they sell it even to other people in their area, stuff like this. And as you can see, this is a really heavy load for this beautiful lady. This is a tank of about 20 liters, which means 20 kilograms on her back. And she's, as I said, she's walking a long distance. Same stuff here. What they do is they collect branches from trees, they collect wood, and then they put it on their shoulder and go back home. This is really, really a tough work, and they do this every day. So this is their housework. And everyone can also imagine what this daily work, how it influences your health. That when you do this every day, you overstress your muscles. And this leads to a lot of health problems. So most of the Eritrean women, they have back problems. If you ever have met Eritrean women here in Germany, you will realize it when you look at the older women. Not everyone, but a lot of them, they have back pain. And this back pain is irreversible. As I said, they overstress their muscles. And so you can't really heal it anymore because it was just too much weight. if you see women with back pain, most often it's because they have done this their whole life. This was their daily work. This was their housework. Some of the people in Eritrea, what they have donkeys, and donkeys are amazing creatures because they can help you with your housework. And as you can see here, they are used for the transport of the water. However, not every family has a donkey because it's kind of expensive. So in the past, the price of a donkey was about I think 2,200 nakfa, which is about 125 euros. And actually, I don't know the actual prices. I think probably they are got a little bit higher. I don't know. The price I have in my head is a little bit older, but yeah, it's around about like this. For the Eritrean people, having a donkey is expensive. In the past, in Germany, there were organizations who gave donkeys to those people, to those women in rural areas of Eritrea. The aim of this project was to make the life easier. As I said, donkeys, they can replace the work of carrying those stuff they need every day. Donkey has many advantages. First, the health condition of those women will be better because they don't overstress their muscles anymore like before, because all the heavy weights are on the back of the donkey and not on the back of the woman. Another thing is, as you have seen in the videos, also younger girls, the daughter of those women, they do the same work as the mother, so they have to help. And because of that, a lot of women can't go to school. A lot of people think that Eritrea has a school problem or something like this, but this is not the case. The schools in Eritrea are good, there is no problem. However, most often only the boys can go there because women have to help the mothers. So the problem is not a school, but the problem is kind of the life management, if you would call it like this. Even if you meet Eritrean people in Germany, you realize that all men, they are very well educated, they speak English, all that stuff. However, there are women in my age or even younger who don't speak English, they only speak tigrinya. And you have to know, at school you learn English, it's kind of the main language at school, but if a woman or a girl is not going to school, she will not learn English, and this is also a problem. So the idea was, if donkeys are given to those people, they can replace the work of the daughter, and the daughter has time to go to school. So this is also one positive effect. And another thing is, especially the male donkeys are used for riding, and this leads to advantages when it comes to childbirth. There will be less infant mortality. So you have to know that Eritrean people, the families, they are very big, so a lot of women, or most of the women, give a lot of birth, they have a lot of children. And especially the people who give birth in those areas and who don't go to hospitals, who give birth kind of at home, they need support from other women. They are called midwives, and those people are very, very necessary. Yeah, you need them. With a donkey, they can go very fast to the woman who gives birth, which is a big advantage. So she does not need to walk all the way. It's a lot of kilometers, but she can just go ride with the donkey. And this is especially important when there are difficulties with giving birth. I don't want to go too deep into those topics, but you have to know that back in the days, or traditionally, some women, they got mutilated in the genital area, and then they are completely sewed up. So they will get problems when they are pregnant and they have to give birth, and someone needs to help them, and those are the midwives. So they have to cut them kind of open before they give birth. And so yeah, this is very important that you have those midwives who go to those people and help them. However, as I said, I don't want to go too deep into those topics. I don't want to get a lot of stress because I know, in fact, the Eritrean government has banned this. So it's illegal to mutilate those women. That's a very good thing from the government. There were very good improvements in case of women's rights and all that stuff since the 1980s. However, you have to know that traditions, especially in those kind of rural areas, they change very slowly. So yeah, but as I said, I don't want to go too deep into those topics. What I want to say is, if people have a donkey, their life is way better and easier. So a donkey has a lot of positive effects on the life of a person. Every Eritrean family wishes to have a donkey.
Ohne ihn kannst du hier kaum überleben. Ohne Esel bist du kein richtiger Mensch.
So donkeys are extremely important and extremely valuable. Not just in Eritrea, but for example also in Kenya.
Auf Lamu ist es sehr wichtig, einen eigenen Esel zu besitzen. Denn nur mit einem Esel kann man Arbeit finden und so Geld für seine Familie verdienen. Wenn man also keinen Esel hat, ist es sehr schwer zu überleben. Darum ist es mir so wichtig, einen eigenen Esel zu haben. Irgendwann mal.
Now I want to focus on the question, how do Eritreans treat their donkeys? You have to know that Eritreans, they see the donkeys as kind of a gift of heaven, and most of them, they treat them very, very well. Same in Ethiopia. So, for example, they give them names like heaven or relief or stuff like this, because they are so happy for having a donkey. They take care of them because they depend on them. And they know when they lose the donkey, their life will be way more harder. I was talking to an Ethiopian guy and he was telling me kind of a quote, a proverb in Amharic. I have forgotten it, how it actually goes, but the translation was, if you don't have a donkey, you are the donkey. And I think this shows a lot. So Eritreans, they are happy about having donkeys. And you also have to know, in Eritrea and in Ethiopia, no one would ever eat a donkey. So even if the donkey dies, they don't eat it. So they just leave it for the hyenas, for other animals, stuff like this, but they don't eat donkeys. Eritreans, they behave a little bit different with donkeys than, for example, I do or European people do. When I walk with a donkey, I put a rope on him and then I'm the one who walks in front of him. So I'm kind of the leader and I guide it being in front. Eritreans, however, they do the opposite. They walk behind the donkey and they have a stick in their hand, not to hurt it or slap it, but they navigate it with the stick, which is kind of interesting. And yeah. If Eritreans like the support and help from other people, highly depends on the Eritreans you are dealing with. So if you ask Eritreans who live in those rural areas, I can guarantee you they love it, they appreciate it, and they are the most thankful people you can imagine. So those people, they love people from other countries. Those people, they love the people who are interested in their country, in their problems, who take care of them. They are very happy about stuff like getting a donkey, and they are extremely thankful for all the things you do. So for example, when you give them a donkey, they even celebrate it. So people who know me, they know that I'm a little bit crazy, and I celebrate the birthday of my horse, stuff like this. And it's so funny because Eritrean people, they celebrate when they get a donkey. So when the German organization gave them a donkey. They were extremely happy and they celebrated with Mbaba. So they made popcorn and they gave it to the children, and they were also feeding the donkey. They gave him a name. They were just very, very lucky. By the way, donkeys, they love bells. If you have the chance to go to Eritrea and if you see a donkey and if you are close to those people who own the donkey, if you know them well, if you are friends, stuff like this, please give bells to the donkey, because donkeys actually, they love bells. It's the prickly pear fruit. For sure they don't eat it often, but they love it. Don't give them too much, because if you give them too much, they will get the same problems like people get when eating too much bells. So yeah, give them 1 or 2, but not more. But they will love you for this. Donkeys love bells. So yeah, as I said, Eritrean people in those regions, they love when you help them. They love you kind of for everything, because they are just they have a great hospitality, stuff like this. However, there are also other Eritrean people who are the opposite. They hate you for your interest. They hate you for dealing with those people. They want you to stay away from the country, and they kind of block everything. So there are different groups of Eritrean people, and you need to know them. You have to understand that Eritreans, they have a strong national pride. They are raised like this, they are grown up like this, they hear this every day. And so a lot of people, they don't want help from other people, especially not from the West. Most of those people, they now live in Europe or America, which is the funny thing. And what they say is, they say that kinda Eritrea is kinda the paradise. There are no problems. Their favorite word is Klutzubu. Everything is good. Our people are rich. We have no electricity or water problem, stuff like this. Those people are the ones, and this is a little bit ridiculous, those people are the ones who now live in Europe and America. They have left Eritrea. However, this is their mindset, and you need to be aware about this. And also, a lot of those people from those group, they watch my videos, which I actually like. Especially I love it when they write something in the comment section, because this is the only way how you can understand their mindset, okay? Reading those comments will help you to get an understanding how they think and what they think and all that stuff. So read those comments and learn from it. This helps you to understand Eritrea. I have learned so much because of those comments. And I'm always very thankful when those kind of people criticize me, especially when they criticize me in public, because this makes it way easier for you to understand what I'm talking about. Nowadays, all those projects don't exist anymore. So the project with giving donkeys to Eritrean families does not exist anymore. It's shut down. Why? Because there were difficulties happening in Eritrea. However, those difficulties are hidden under the carpet. No one is talking about it, no one is addressing those problems, it's just gone. But the ones who know, they know. So yeah, within this video about Eritrea, I want to show you how important donkeys actually are for people who live in rural areas. They are so important, and you have to know that this is not just an Eritrean thing, but this is an overall global thing, especially in whole Africa. The people in Eritrea and also in Ethiopia, they don't eat donkey. They don't eat donkey meat. Not the Christian people, not the Muslim people. No one is eating donkey. And also, they don't sell donkeys, or at least in the past, they did not sell donkeys. They were breeding donkeys, yeah. However, they were breeding them only for themselves, for their own. They were breeding donkeys to make their life easier for their own benefit, so that they could work for them. However, they were not selling donkeys to other countries or stuff like this. However, since some years, there is a huge donkey problem, and a lot of people, they don't even know about it. Now I'm not speaking directly about Eritrea, but I'm addressing also the neighbor countries, like for example Ethiopia or Kenya.
A year ago, we realized that some people always come and that they want the donkey to buy. And some will even buy this donkey, they will kill it instantly and then take away the skin, and they can even say that you take the meat. Actually, we don't even know what they are using the skin for.
So the answer to this question is Eijao. Eijao is kind of a wonder drug, a wonder medicine made by China. They have brought up a traditional medicine, which is kind of wonder drug and which helps against every disease. It will lower blood pressure, it will make you more fertile, everything. It heals everything. However, there is no scientific proof that it works, okay? The problem is a lot of people buy it, and because a lot of people buy it, other people think, whoa, if they buy it, we have to buy it too because it's so good, stuff like this. So this thing got really popular. However, no one knows that this medicine is made out of donkey skin. So the key element of Eijao is a gelatin, and you gain this gelatin when you boil the skin of donkeys, which is crazy.
It has a huge market in China, where its popularity has resulted in a worldwide search by traders for donkey skins.
So in Africa, 1 million of donkeys, they get stolen, they got killed, they got slaughtered every day. And a lot of people, they don't even know about it.
Farmers are being misled and are unaware that Eijao is derived from slaughtered donkeys.
But in China, donkeys are a cash crop. Ever since a sham alternative medicine company spread the idea that donkey skin was the new wonder drug, millions in the country believe it can cure everything from the common cold to insomnia. As more donkey medicines have flooded the Chinese market, more people have started to believe that they must be effective. If they weren't effective, why would there be so many on the market? Global donkey prices have skyrocketed. Herds have been slaughtered in such numbers that entire countries are starting to feel the pinch. When you can get that much for an old donkey, it's hard not to sell. In the eyes of the Chinese company coming to Ethiopia to set up a slaughterhouse, they viewed their presence here as a win-win. This was an untapped market, the #1 country for donkeys, a safe investment in a country their government had bought and paid for.
And you have to know, I have seen so much of terrible things happening to donkeys, and if you feel too emotional about that stuff, because I know it's very hard, I'm a little bit traumatized by those kind of stuff, look away, okay? Because not everyone wants to see how donkeys get slaughtered.
Have other uses.
So many donkeys do you have?
John Karaoke owns and manages the Star Brilliant Donkey Abattoir, set up specifically for the slaughter of donkeys. It's a bloody business, from chopping up to boxing up.
In Kenya, and here they slaughter about 100 donkeys a day. 120 tons of donkey meat are exported to their principal market, which is China, every month. But the most valuable part of the donkey isn't the meat, but the hides.
And so donkey hides are in high demand.
In low form now, it is going at $142.
Some African countries have banned trading in donkeys because of declining numbers. And if they continue falling in Kenya, it's likely to be the poorest people who will suffer.
This is clean, cold capitalism.
Have set up the law, and they claimed it in Addis Ababa, that they will no longer allow to slaughter donkey for Eijao, which is very, very good. However, the illegal trade and the illegal slaughter still continues, and this is a very, very huge problem.
Donkeys go through immense fear and pain. The Eijao trade is horrifying for donkeys and their owners.
I have lost more than 4 donkeys through illegal slaughter.
Point of slaughter, they are crowded and one donkey is slaughtered in the front of other donkeys. So that gives some kind of fear to the other donkeys. And where they are slaughtered, the conditions are not good. They beat them, they drag them to the slaughter point, and then that is really what we call inhumane method of slaughter.
Although the skin trade in Ghana has been banned, just a short distance from where those farmers were planting their seeds, we found this bush slaughterhouse, which is a killing ground for donkeys. And it's just one of a network of similar slaughterhouses situated in the area. These animals, corralled just a few meters away, will be the next to die. And it seems they can almost sense their fate.
This is the global donkey problem I wanted to address in this video, because donkeys really need our help. You have to know that I support several donkey organizations which ban those kind of things and which help to find the illegal slaughterhouses, stuff like this. And it's so important that people do something against this problem, not only because of the donkeys itself, but because of all the people who are behind this. As I said, all those African people who live in rural areas, they depend on donkeys. Donkey is the difference between poverty and complete destitution, so they really need it. Most people, they know me as the horse girl. People who know me a little bit better, they know that I'm totally into donkeys. Sefotom intatat, Adgi. In my opinion, donkeys are the most amazing animals ever. I love them. I love their look, I love their ears, I love their character, everything. I love donkeys. And I think they are so amazing because of all the work they do for people. They are one of the best animals ever. And I think they get way too less attention. They get no real love, I don't know. They are always considered as unclean. People think that they are dumb. People think that they are stubborn. Donkeys are not stubborn. They are really intelligent. If you are ever together with a donkey, you probably understand what I'm talking about.
What if all the chips were down and you feel you hit the ground and the truth is to be found? There's a place where we can go when the time has come, we know.
And yeah, I love to talk about donkeys. My friends know it. But most people, they don't see the value in a donkey. They always prefer horses because you can do more things with them. You can ride them. They are more expensive, stuff like this. So they treat donkeys like second class. I want to give them some value, some love, I don't know, but I think donkeys are really cool.
I don't know why people consider them as a stubborn or fool animal, but maybe it's because of Aesop. If you know Aesop, he has fables that ridicule and also joke on donkeys, and maybe it might be because of that, because Aesop fables, I think they are one of the reasons most people, and even in a worldwide scale, consider donkeys as a dumb animal, but I don't think they are dumb. I think they are actually very nice, and I always like the donkey because they are strong. They're even though they are stubborn, but They're very strong and they help out a lot. Even if you consider in terms of service that they provide in the rural areas, in the suburbs in Ethiopia, they have more application. They provide a lot of service to people than any other animal, and people who tend to animals, who take care of animals, are usually very sweet people, and I'm sensing that from you.
If you also want to talk with me about donkeys, feel free to reach out to me. You can write me on Instagram. I love to talk with Eritreans and Ethiopians. I love to talk with you about whatever, and especially I love to talk about donkeys. In my opinion, donkeys are such great animals and they need way more attention. That's why I made this whole video about them. By the way, because at the beginning I said German people, they need to understand where Eritreans come from and they need to understand why they are here, okay? I haven't addressed the question, why are those people here in Germany? I want to make clear that those people are not in Germany because they have two less donkeys. It's not so much about electricity or water, because if you have a look at other countries in Africa, they kind of have the same problems. The problem in Eritrea is that there are a lot of Adgis. However, not every family has a donkey. So the problem is not a donkey problem, but the problem is an Adgi problem. So yeah, this was my video about the rural life in Eritrea, about donkeys and Adgis. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you did not like it, please dislike it, whatever you want. Please spread your love and also your hate in the comment section. As I said, people, they learn from all the things that how you criticize other people. It shows a lot about your mindset, and this is really valuable for me and for all the other people who want to understand Eritrea. So yeah, thank you very much. I will be back, so see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
2 donkeys were in the field nearby Jerusalem. Then one donkey said, "I don't understand it. Just the day before yesterday, everyone was throwing their clothes and palms on the road when I was carrying Jesus on my back, but from yesterday, I'm back to being nothing. Those people don't even know it's me who was carrying Jesus." The other donkey said, "It works like that. Without Jesus, you are nothing in this world."
Have you ever noticed the cross on a donkey's back? It's not a myth. Every donkey, if you look closely, has a dark stripe down its back and a stripe across its shoulders, forming a perfect cross. Jesus' entry into Jerusalem, the donkey was marked by God with the sign of the cross as a reminder of its humble role in the greatest story ever told. It's just an animal, right? But God chose it, not a war horse, not a chariot, a gentle beast of burden to carry both the Mother of God and the Lamb of God. So the next time you see a donkey, look for the cross, because even creation remembers what we sometimes forget. God uses the lowly for his highest purpose. Type amen if that humbled you today, and tag someone who needs to know. Even the donkey carried the glory of God.
I'm just a donkey, slow and strong, walking steady, singing my song. Though the road is rough and the hills are steep, I carry my load and never miss a beat. They laugh and call me foolish and slow, but I take my time and I always know every step forward, no matter how small, is better than running and losing it all. Early Sunday morning, yeah. Early Sunday morning, storm rolled away, light from the darkness, love